Hello, all you culturally woke folk. My name is Chad, and I often get condemned online for being a white guy. That's right. I paid perfectly good money on a DNA kit to learn that I'm 100% white. I'm so white, I tie the arms of my sweater around my neck when I go play tennis with my friends. I'm so white, I pull the cops over and give them speeding tickets. Yes, I love buckets full of mayonnaise, and nothing I like in the world better than a big old hunk of mayonnaise sandwich between two giant slabs of mayonnaise. And what am I going to drink, Willie, while I enjoy said delicacy? Well, I'm going to drink White Claws, of course. I'm so white I get a suntan from the Blue Light Special at the Kmart. Everybody coming before me, going back to the Visigoth, Sac, and Romer. Whitey white, 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 whitey white, 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 white. The last time I tried to make a snow angel, they lost me for 25 minutes. And yet, the accused, thus guilty white man that must be racist, bigoted, xenophobic, transphobic, anti-LGBTQ plus 26 other living things, the embodiment of everything the modern liberal hates about himself, herself, or herself. Occasionally, I like to visit a taco truck. I like raw sushi with sake. I'll occasionally take in the musical stylings of my more melanin-laden brothers and sisters. You might even see me bust a move or a hip bone to a rap song if I think nobody's looking. I'm probably wearing clothing that was made in China, not this shirt, however. In short, I am guilty of the most heinous of sins in our modern segregated utopia, and that is cultural appropriation. Woe is me, for I've tread upon the grounds that are not mine own, thus marginalizing the one-way boundaries that so rightfully exist between me and my betters, which, since I'm a white male, is everybody. You see, in the complex M.C. Escher staircase rendering that seems to be the liberal philosophy du jour, there's a prevalent idea known as collective intellectual property rights. And if you think that sounds like someone made up in a fever dream during a 16th semester gender studies class while smoking a ton of pot, listening to Timothy Leary records, and studiously avoiding good hygiene, you're probably right. It was the hygiene that got you, wasn't it? The idea of collective intellectual property rights is there are groups of people who own the trappings of their culture, the mores, the music, the literary stylings, the food, hell, even the hairstyles, the costumes, the fashion choices. Further, it is the idea that in order to preserve those trappings in the best manner possible, they must be inaccessible to those who come from other cultures, like current white people. So homogenization is a curse. It's anathema to the people who buy into this notion, and the great irony of all of it is that those who are purporting this nonsense tread very closely to embracing the racism that they constantly call out, usually incorrectly, in other people. Now, as a result, it suddenly becomes taboo for me to, for example, do my hair up in cornrows or wear hoop earrings or wear war paint and a chieftain headdress while drinking a bottle of whiskey and firing arrows in the air. I mean, what the hell am I supposed to do with my Friday nights now? You guys steal all my thunder and won't even let me do a rain dance. Now, the argument for cultural appropriation being problematic is that if cultures overlap in such a way, the more powerful culture will subsume these elements of the weaker culture, assimilating them, and by the very nature of being powerful, changing them to fit its own needs and desires. And here's the interesting thing about that. It's true. Here's the other interesting thing. So freaking what? That's how life works. It's how the world works. It's what civilizations have been doing with each other for thousands and thousands of years. The world in general, and America in particular, is a cultural melting pot for a reason. Cultures change over time, especially the ones that don't get left behind in the dust of progress and shed into the dustbin of history. Is it true that any culture worth preserving is going to have its hardcore constituents there to protect it forever and ever? No, probably not. But there's nothing you can do about that. Generations die off, and so do cultures and traditions and ceremonies and blah and blah and blah and blah. The fundamentally fascinating thing to me is how many folks out there, that see themselves as anything more than a blip on the radar of world history. You're here, then you're gone, and the world moves on. Sorry about your timeline, kids, so chill out. In the meantime, you guys out there trying to enforce the idea that cultural appropriation is a bad thing by firing up the old intersectional shame thrower is not only stupid, it's harmful to society. We need to appropriate each other's cultures. We need to. That's part of how we blend the colors to weave the ever-growing fabric of this nation. Are there going to be jackasses who take advantage of that and make a mockery of someone else's culture along the way? Absolutely. But again, that's life in the fast lane, baby. The good that comes from our blending of cultures so vastly outweighs the bad that it's hardly worth mentioning. And the beauty of humanity is that it takes absolutely nothing away from you or your supposed precious culture. Yet, here it is, preached from the liberal pulpit because it reinforces the things that they believe in the most. Make no mistake, intersectionalism is a property in the alchemy of turning a blended society back into a segregated one. The dystopia they're working tirelessly to create isn't far over the horizon, and we would do well to root it out right now when we see it. Now, if you'll excuse me, Willie, I got to go get my weave done. See who I can piss off today. Now, pay attention to what I'm saying to you. I love y'all. God bless. Here's a Facebook poke. Get it at watchchad.com. Go ahead.